YouTube, as you can tell by the awesome loading screen music, we are back on Total War Shogun 2 for more Chaos Riders tournament action. Hope y'all are enjoying this. It seems like you are. People kind of like this switch to Shogun 2. No, I'm not going to do Shogun 2 from now on forever. There's quite a few matches in this tournament, and I'd like to show them just because they're fun. And it's been a while since I got to cast this much of a tournament, which is close to all of it. This is going to be another round 1 matchup. This one's going to be between Furrybeastman and Anethum. And let me find out who's who. This is the Kawabe River map. So in the purple here is Furrybeastman. And then over here we've got Anethum. So let's check out the armies. So last time we saw like a Bushido general. Let's check out the generals to start with. Over here we've got a part leadership, part gun. And then over here we've got a, let's see, looks like part leader, part gun once again. So pretty similar. I see a Saber Cav and 2 Yariki pushing over here. 2 Yariki, ooh, Revolver Cav there. That's going to be a big danger for Furrybeastman. He's going to watch out. No sneaky in the woods at this point. 1 Yariki over here. A lot of infantry for Anethum. Cavalry showdown over here. That Revolver Cavalry may sway that, but there's Red Bears inbound. It's just the line of sight's going to be really broken up. So I see 2 Red Bears. Royal Marine called the Brits. I like that. Oh, this charge here. This charge. Let's see. Yep. Revolver Cav gets away. Lures the Yariki in. The Saber Cavalry is also going to come in, but it's 3 Yariki versus 2 Yariki and a Saber Cav. 1 Yariki up here, though, gets completely destroyed. Revolver Cav not even lending a hand. The cavalry over here getting complete. I thought this was going to go pretty well in favor of Anethum, but it turns into a giant wash for both players. But let's see how it creates the engagement here. These Red Bear might get shots here. Let's see. This U.S. Marine's in kind of poor position right here because it can't capitalize on its long range, whereas this Royal Marine is in excellent position to potentially capitalize. So yes, Anethum does end up winning the superiority over here, but I see a Revolver Cav and 2 more Yariki as well as a Red Bear coming in. But that would mean that this flank now, not cavalry supported, but, you know, it looks like Anethum moved all his cavalry over. Really like the positioning of this Royal Marine here. This is a good push. He's going to destroy this, this Black Bear infantry right here. And this U.S. Marine is too far back to respond at the moment. Slightly blocked line of sight here, too. It is keeping the archery dojo from being captured in a rather clever position, but that right there was definitely not a great engagement. Quite a bit of cavalry left over here, but let's see. So we got 2 very healthy Yariki and a Revolver Cav with 58 men. This Revolver Cavalry 59 men. So both Revolver Cavs still in play. A little bit of flanking starting to go over here from this Red Bear infantry, though it's going to have to go quite a long ways. I think this Red Bear should probably push all the way over here, get this unit to completely turn so that these 2 units can outnumber right here. Might be a good option. This U.S. Marine getting a couple of pot shots here, but again, the line of sight's mostly blocked. Not a very favorable positioning for them, other than the fact that it allows them to keep this archery dojo from being capped without really being fired on easily. So it does have that benefit. But this Royal Marine, though, because of that positioning, is going to be able to push the advantage on this Red Bear infantry, and it's just going to go downhill for Anethum if he can't make something happen. Like this a lot. Very nice position here on the hill. Technically in the woods probably still, so may get some cover from that. It's going to be a very solid position. Is it going to be enough to make up for how badly this Royal Marine's about to wreck him, though? I don't know. And this flank is pretty dependent, too. He's going to leave the Red Bear infantry to do some firing. It's outnumbered 2-1, though, so that's going to be a rough engagement. He's having to split off another Black Bear reserve, so nice use of reserves. This engagement going to be very favorable for Anethum. If he can wrap this up rather quickly, he will be in good shape, and if he can get this U.S. Marine into a better position, half of his men are losing line of sight over that hill. So I'm not sure I like that position, but as expected, the Royal Marine starting to wreck this Red Bear, and it's going to get hit by a cavalry charge from the hill. Oh, that's a Revolver Cavalry. That's almost worse than a cavalry charge. So that was a nasty little shot there. I like that. That was good. This flank getting hit with suppression fire, so it's going to wrap up. They're going to kind of move into a holding pattern here, which means these guys have to go all the way through here. So at this point, I don't know. It's still up in the air who can win this. There's still lots of units left for both players. This cavalry, though, could definitely swing this battle. If it can quickly rush over here and make these units turn their flank, it could be very, very handy for Anethum. He's going to get down here into this water, but ooh, this is going to slow him down, and this unit right here could potentially get some good line of sight. He's trying to get to this flank over here, but it is well covered by the 2nd Infantry unit if they just get positioned, which won't take them long. Plus, there's a revolver cavalry coming in. Yeah, this Yariki might as well just go ahead and plan on visiting the next life, because they are dead. They are all kinds of dead. They were dead 3 ways over right there. But does it give him the opening he needs on this flank? Quite possibly. We've got suppressive fire popped here from the U.S. Marines, which has a lot of wavering going on in the center. This flank is not overwhelmed at this point, but this cavalry is moving to do so. It depends on who's going to overwhelm a flank fastest. This position here in the water, a little bit of a bad position, but it's certainly not super bad. He's losing the infantry fight to this Royal Marines and Red Bears. Cavalry charge inbound here that is actually going to be pretty nice. May get a few shots on it, though. No, it's going to get a nice clean charge into that Red Bear. Very decimating, but he has cavalry on his flank now, too. He's going to bring this Yariki over. And the revolver cav quickly sets that straight. But it does give these units some key volleys, so this is a pretty well-fought battle on both players' parts, and it's still up in the air as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure someone who plays more of this game could probably already tell you who's going to win, but this revolver cavalry could be critical right here if it can kill these Yariki off pretty quick. The revolver cav for Furrybeastman here too. Whoever gets the revolver cav to shoot the other revolver cav first could potentially win this match. But nice infantry support here that's going to go for the revolver cav probably. Furrybeastman loses his revolver cavalry. Let's see, only 1 infantry left over here, so this U.S. Marine kind of in a poor position because the Royal Marines just absolutely hammering it from the distance. Yeah, I don't know. This looks like it may go in Furrybeastman's favor. Yariki here chasing his revolver cav. It's going to catch it. And his U.S. Marines is wavering. That's not good for him. If these guys are wavering, they're in rough shape because they've got pretty decent morale. So, yeah, this one's over for Anethum. It was well fought, and I think he had a chance pretty close to up to the finish of that, but it's definitely over at this point. He's going to lose so many troops that his guys are going to start routing. Enemy general actually coming way too close over here. I don't know if that could swing the battle back the other way if he died. I don't think so because there's so much morale shock going on here. Yeah, I think it is over. Well, I don't know. This U.S. Marine came back from routing. If it gets hit right here, though, let's see. It's going to get hit in the back. That's interesting. See what happens there. The general's still alive. He needs to be very, very careful, though. He's about to get shot by the Red Bear infantry. Definitely. Oh, the overshots from those Royal Marines actually hammered the general pretty good there. Revolver cavalry coming back around. I don't know if it's out of ammo, but it's in melee combat right now. This could swing back around for Anethum if it weren't for that Royal Marine. I don't see how that's going to happen with the Royal Marine on the battlefield. A unit with this kind of firepower, with a position to fire from, yeah, there's not much you're going to be able to do about that. Royal Marine mopped him up. For Her Majesty. The U.S. Marines out here. Remember the revolution's what they're saying. These guys are too few in number to sway this. Though they're going to get a piece of that bodyguard there, I think it was. And the bodyguard's going to get a piece of them too. Anyway, there it was. That was a close battle. Came down to 3 units. And this Royal Marine, though, was the clutch unit there. 300 kills. It was able to use that long range there in the center for quite a long time. And that made a huge difference in the engagements. Hope you all enjoyed this one. I'll see you back on the second game. All right, welcome back to Game 2 between Furrybeastman and Anethum. This should be interesting. It's Alpine Ridge. This map can sometimes allow for slightly different style of gameplay, so it will be curious. It is right now 1-0 for Furrybeastman. He won the first match. And let's check out his army again, so making sure the general's the same. It is. So let's check it out. We got a revolver cav in the center. 2 Yariki on each flank is my guess. Indeed. There's a... they've got this Royal Marine here. He didn't even have to refresh it because it was the same one that was in the last battle, so it must not have gotten injured, which is, like I said, a very clutch performance. So 3 Red Bear, 4 Red Bear in the center. And he's got America, the United States Marines over here. So the Brits and the Americans teaming up for a showdown in Japan, possibly against more of their own brethren who are on the opposite side of this war. We'll see. We got a White Bear, Red Bear, White Bear, U.S. Marine. Yep, there's some U.S. Marines on the other side of this, but 2 Marines for Furrybeastman. We've got equivalent Yariki out in the flanks. Probably, I don't see a revolver cav for Anethum. That's interesting. Almost everybody fields the revolver cav. I wonder what he spent his extra money on. Upgraded. Does he have any upgraded line infantry other than, yeah, I mean, these guys have a chevron. All right, let's check out the dojo. So the shrine currently being captured by Anethum. That would be a great capture for him. Should get first shots right here. That's a black tortoise force up against a white bear. It will lose that for sure. So not an engagement he's going to want to continue, but the Royal Marine popping out of the woods over here, and that's got to come as a surprise to Anethum because it was hidden. Doesn't have a good answer to this over here. Actually, he does. He's got a revolver cavalry, but how to get it close would be the question. And this infantry is definitely going to need to be ready to support here because here comes a Yariki. Good chance to kill this Yariki. Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. This should be a great... Like, these guys are going to do some damage, but they should get wrecked by the supporting infantry. Something fierce. He's bringing the revolver cav over, but I don't even know if he needs to do that. I mean, these Yariki are going to get punished heavily for that attack. And it's not going to do him a ton of good. I say that, I mean, it kind of helped these Royal Marines move up. And it distracted this Yariki over here to where now this one's in a pretty decent position to get a one-on-one engagement that's very favorable because this one does not have chevrons. So this will definitely go in favor of Furrybeastman. And then this Royal Marine engagement is going to go in favor of Furrybeastman. However, the revolver cavalry here has the potential to wreck the Royal Marines if they don't shift their fire immediately, which they very well could. Oh, this Royal Marine, if it doesn't start firing on the revolver cav quickly, it's going to die. It's going to die fast. So the revolver cav is now actually going to die, but it did do severe damage to the Royal Marine. Will it be enough? That remains to be seen. In the center, we've got some Yariki working over the hill using... Oh, this is revolver cav. My bad. So both players did have revolver cav. Holy massacre. Wow. Talk about effective revolver cavalry use there, just racking up 92 kills. Anethum could secure this flank still with this Red Bear infantry, though, because the Royal Marines were so badly flogged by the revolver cav, but he's losing his White Bear here to the Black Tortoise Force. And here we've got a Red Bear engaged with the Red Bear. White Bear engaged with the Red Bear infantry, but it does have fire support from the General. General now being engaged by a damaged Yariki, and there's enemy infantry free, so this is looking pretty bad for Anethum. Because if his General goes here, it's pretty much over. He has a lot of troops over here, but I don't know if he can pull this one back. It's going to be questionable. This U.S. Marine's pretty thrashed. And let's see. There were 2 Marines. Yeah, here's the other Marines right here. This U.S. Marine here is in pretty good shape. And it's going to wholesale slaughter this Red Bear infantry out here. It does not have a prayer. But here, this U.S. Marine on this side is going to push back this Black Tortoise force quite easily. But I don't see this turning around for Anethum. His whole flank is getting ready to be wrapped up. So let's go into close-up views. Look at this stray horse fleeing the battlefield. It's like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm not tied down to anybody anymore. See, here's U.S. Marines firing. They may be firing on other U.S. Marines here shortly. Yeah, these U.S. Marines about to fire on these U.S. Marines. Brothers at arms. Brothers at each other's throats. Civil War Part 2. I'm trying to think when this game takes place. Should be post-Civil War. These guys are apparently wanting to relive a little bit of the Civil War. Yeah, White Bear's being pushed back and slaughter. So Game 2 also goes to Furrybeastman. So it's a win or you're out scenario in the next battle for Anethum. The Lowlands, haven't seen this map yet in the tournament. Interesting map. You have a river crossing in the center. There is a hill, a dry way to get across the river. But yeah, you have a river crossing in the center, and there's key buildings split. There's one up on this hill right here. There's another that's, I believe, in the center on this side of the river, and then there's another right over here on this other side of the river. So straight across the center of the map, you have 3 key buildings, but one of them, 2 of them require a river. Well, one requires a river crossing for each player, and the other requires them to contest this hill. That is part of the tactical map design that was part of the battles in Shogun 2, which was actually very nice. archery dojo, a sword dojo, and a workshop present on the battlefield. The archery dojo, I would think, would be the capture of choice. A lot of woods right here too can make for some interesting play. I see two marine, or no, this is Shogun and Guard infantry. So Infantry de Marine on the battlefield this time, with the Shogun Guard infantry, not with increased range, but still going to be an elite infantry. Let's take a look for Anethum here. Cavalry, 2 Yariki over here. Red Bear, Imperial infantry. That's an interesting choice. Black Bear, Royal Marine in the center. Another Black Bear, White Bear, Red Bear. Lots of bears. The bears. All right, so let's keep going here. There's a Revolver Cavalry coming out of hiding in the back, so I would be very surprised to not see players using Revolver Cav in this tournament. There's the one for Furrybeastman, and so both players very similar army builds here. The 4 Yariki, 1 Revolver Cav, few elite infantry, and the rest standard line infantry. That's a pretty standard build we're seeing in the tournament. No lines of sight here, though a little bit right now. These cavalry might... very nearly got clipped, but then they decided to go ahead and fire at the Red Bear infantry, which is probably a better target anyway. The cavalry support's a little far back for Anethum here, so we'll see how this goes. Let's see, we've got 2 Chevron Yariki out here, and they're... wow, this Yariki just took a shot. Very upgraded Yariki here, though, so, well, one of them is. This Red Bear infantry, so the Sword Dojo is going in favor of Furrybeastman. The workshop is going to, oh, the archery dojo, though, going to Furrybeastman. That's going to be very hard for Anethum to overcome. He will get the workshop, which could help him in cavalry melees, but, I mean, he's already losing this cavalry melee over here. And right here, got hit by a Yariki that tied it down for this great infantry push from Furrybeastman. This battle's a long way from over, but not bad engagements here for Furrybeastman. But let's see. Revolver Cavalry coming into action. 2 more Yariki and a Revolver Cavalry shifting to this flank. So now the cavalry advantage suddenly shifted to Anethum, who might catch this Revolver Cavalry. He is. This could be a terrible turn of events for Furrybeastman, because now that infantry routes and the Yari Cavalry can give chase to the Revolver Cav. Very poor morale on this flank right now for Furrybeastman. So all of a sudden the winds of fortune here have shifted towards Anethum, who can now chase this Revolver Cav clean off the field. So this is going to be a very, very good scenario for Furrybeastman. Let's fast forward. Actually, I can't fast forward apparently for some reason. Maybe it's because it's a spectator replay or something. I think that's why you can't fast forward. But in any case, yeah, that was quite the advantageous fortune there for way to capitalize on that. I mean, it looked bad for him at first, but he kept fighting there and he gained the edge on it, and Anethum's gonna probably pick up a win because of it. I don't see how Furrybeastman can pull this back without some really excellent play on his part and some pretty serious mistakes from Anethum, who has a very nice position marching up through this forest with his Imperial infantry. He'll be covered, and the line of sight does not favor the enemy here. It'll allow him to move up pretty close. The Yariki, though, potentially trying to capitalize on that. This would be a pretty good place for the Yariki to charge, because it would be guarded all the way in. So yeah, this line of sight that could have been advantageous now going to be used against him with an excellent Yariki charge here. Very nice. Very, very nice. Going to get some support, though, from the Royal Marines, though, so that Yariki is going to die. So he's going to have to sacrifice the Yariki for an Imperial infantry. Not a bad trade, though, honestly. If he can get the trade done, which he does not. There's still 106 men left in the Imperial infantry. Look at the suppressive fire actually coming all the way out here. Very nice shots off that hill into the Shogunate Guard infantry. So already the engagement looking rough, but a couple of nice return volleys here from the Black Tortoise Force, but it is just a Black Tortoise Force. It does have the influence of the Archery Dojo, though, so you're going to be seeing some pretty nice shooting stats right now for Furrybeastman, especially on a unit like this Shogunate Guard infantry. These guys are going to be dishing out some pretty serious pain, but they are also surrounded and taking fire from multiple angles, as are most of the units on this flank. So again, not really quite certain how Furrybeastman can pull this one back. He's going to bring his general around toward the flank to attempt to do so, risking getting shot here as he comes through the river. Very much so. So, very unfortunate turn of events there for Furrybeastman. This battle is over. This one's going to easily go to Anethum here in a pretty decisive victory because of a couple of key engagements, that being one of them for sure. But the battle was pretty much over before that point. Now the Royal Marines here, though, getting absolutely trashed by a Yariki. That's always a nice trade. I say that, the Royal Marine's still alive, and the Yariki is not for much longer. Look at these guys just getting slaughtered out here on the flank by the Revolver Cavalry. Revolver Cavalry is just downright brutal if it gets you in the right position. It is definitely, in terms of kills per time, it is the most potentially deadly unit on the battlefield for sure. So that is going to be a full retreat, I think, for Furrybeastman. His guys are going to be routing off the battlefield very shortly if they're not already. I don't know if these guys are being shot while they rout or not. But there you go. The slaughter of Furrybeastman's men as they flee the battlefield. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back in Game 4 to see whether or not Anethum can keep his hopes alive, or if Furrybeastman will seal the deal. Alright, Game 4 will be on the Sanriku Ria. This is an interesting map. Lots of little odd sight lines on this map. So it takes some very clever attention by the players usually to make the most out of that. You know, a really good player will have spent some time understanding those little ins and outs on this map, not trying to actually have to look at it during the battle. I was never really that dedicated to go in and do it myself, but the players who do that will gain an advantage, like knowing that this hill is here while you're looking from high up. Because a lot of times you have to control the battle from high up, but being smart enough in your knowledge of the terrain to know where are good spots to position infantry to gain good lines of sight make a big difference. So for instance, knowing that this little road right here, you could put an infantry on it and hide them, and then push to the crest in order to get shots. So little things like that will go a long way. And then just completely fully understanding the terrain throughout the map. So again, the terrain around the dojos, that kind of stuff is important. So let's take a look at the key buildings. We got a shrine, an archery dojo right here in the center that's going to easily go to Furrybeastman. So that already does not bode well for Anethum. But you know what? He had an archery dojo last time and Furrybeastman got beat. So we'll see. The shrine, though, would certainly be a very nice building for either player to control. Let's see if there was any major deviations in build. I doubt it. These guys seem pretty determined to bring the same thing, and they have, for the most part. They've just altered their elite infantry. Has really been the only alteration to their build, and is the Infanterie de Marine at this point. On the other side, we got the Royal Marine back. And, yeah, pretty much the same build straight across. It looks like Anethum likes to keep quite a few reserves, which is not a bad plan, and you know, and it looks like Furrybeastman kind of doing the same thing over here too. Got some reserves. It's always never a bad idea to have a reserve in case you get it. Oh, right here, nasty shots into Furrybeastman's Red Bear infantry. So very nice early engagement here. These guys do have line of sight on this position, and they're going to continue to punish. However, this unit will move up, and yep, they're going to push up and get a volley here and then pull back. So nice job, but this unit's going to continue to eat it for as long as they stand here. Cavalry being brought in for support, though I don't recommend this at this point. He's pushing here way too early. There's plenty of support back here, so I think this is a huge mistake by Anethum, because now he's going to get absolutely slaughtered by the reinforcing troops and just completely give up this Yariki for, in my opinion, a Red Bear that was already beaten. And that's going to allow this cavalry over here to come work his flank, because he'll now be at a numbers disadvantage. I just don't like this trade here for Anethum. His initial trade was great, but I don't know if this trade was worth it. He traded a Yariki for a Red Bear that he basically already had, and another Yariki. And then, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Now, he does have his Royal Marines in the woods here, but he's taking heavy fire straight on from an Infanterie de Marine. This is another, I'm not saying this to be mean, but in my mind, this is a questionable maneuver. An Infanterie de Marine is the best shooter infantry in the game. And even with the woods here, taking the initial volley from them is definitely going to mean that your Royal Marine loses this fight. I do not see that fight turning around in favor of the Royal Marine. Now, this flank over here is still looking doable, but it's the center right here where it's going to get ugly. This Infanterie de Marine absolutely mopping up the Royal Marine. Very nice trade. It did take some damage in return. It wasn't completely for free because the Royal Marine had the woods. But like I said, I just don't see how the Royal Marine can turn this around. I think that was the enemy general moving up here. What in the world is he doing? Enemy general straight into the Infanterie de Marine. So I don't know if this is nerves, jitters, or what here on the part of Anethum, but yeah, huge mistakes here. This battle is over. Yeah, so I mean, this is definitely going to go to Furrybeastman unless something absolutely crazy happens. The Yari key being thrown straight into the Infantry de Marine, who shoots the crud out of it first. And yeah, they'll take a nasty charge here, but they definitely will not die in its entirety. So I think Furrybeastman's got this one made. We're seeing some more YOLO over here from Anethum. Might as well, I guess, at this point, because I really don't think that in the pitched battle he's going to have the forces necessary to take this on. Here comes the Red Bear. Is it going to go into melee? I think the Red Bear is attempting to go into melee over here with these Black Bears. So now we get the YOLO melee charge. Oh, come on, Red Bears, go into melee. Well, this is going to be a point-blank line fight right here if these guys decide to fire. Oh, yeah. It doesn't get any more shot in the face than this. Wow. With this kind of caliber of musket and this close, there would be like brains and arms and goo and organs flying everywhere. It would be really ugly. Here comes the... Are these guys routing, or is that some kind of half-hearted melee charge there? Look at him doing the Tosa Shuffle, scooting right up to these guys. Do the Tosa Shuffle, guys. Oh, man, the Tosa Shuffle. Used to make me so dang mad when my troops would do it and then get themselves shot. But yeah, Furrybeastman's got this one essentially wrapped up. There is no comeback at this point. This Infantry de Marine gonna have long range there. Yeah, this is definitely a loss for Anethum. But it was, I tell you what, the first game between these two was very exciting. It was very close, and it kept swaying either way. That was definitely an exciting game, and you can definitely see games like, it's so funny how their wigs are shiny. It's like some stuff on Shogun 2. Like, I love the color on Shogun 2. It's very pretty. But some of this stuff just ended up looking weird, like the shine that they get on their uniforms. Like, ooh, their uniform's all polished. It's from the blood effects that makes it do that. So when the blood effect gets on it, it makes it look all polished out. Kind of weird. Hope you guys are enjoying those guys' purple trousers. Trousers. How British of me to say that. Pants would be a little more American of me. But let's watch. These guys are about to eat it. So it's like, yeah, adding a little insult to injury there for these white bears at the end. Like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and send you flying, chump. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. Nice round 1 victory there for Furrybeastman. Great games from both players. I will be back with more tournament replays where I think we're going to go ahead and move on into round 2. HeirofCarthage, signing.